This is the third reflection under the heading of Now. I refer you to the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12, verses 22 and following. That text begins as follows. Jesus said to the disciples, "That is why I'm telling you not to worry about your life and what you are to eat, nor about your body and how you are to clothe it. For life means more than food, and the body more than clothing. Think of the ravens. They don't reap. They have no storehouses, no barns, yet God feeds them." Trust in divine providence is a world apart from fatalism. Que sera, sera. It is what it is. Shrug your shoulders with a careless acceptance or a begrudging acceptance. The essence of trust in providence is based on the revelation of God, I am with you. It's a deep conviction that God is love. God's ways will triumph. They may not in this moment triumph, but this moment in all its brokenness and limitations is a necessary avenue or path to the triumph in the end, the ultimate manifestation of God's glory and God's goodness and God's truth. It is possible to promote this kind of thinking that Jesus is talking about, and I've singled out this particular passage from Luke, but it goes right through the Gospels. It's the kingdom. It's about God's revelation and God's initiative and God's desire to love us into freedom. That's not a desire that is not an expression of magic, that God will somehow or other lift us out of the tragedy of human existence. God will not do that. There's nothing that suggests that the promise to be with us, the promise to redeem us, is some kind of an exercise in magic. God will be with us in the human reality, in the human condition, with all its limits, all its finitude, all its fleshly demands, its needs, its possibilities. God is with us in the now. That is both invitation and promise. If God is there, the question arises, am I there? Am I in the now? Or am I scanning the horizon for what I must do next in order to control the unfolding of life so that I keep my defenses intact? I keep my shoes on. Take off your shoes. You're on sacred ground. That's what God keeps saying in many different ways. Let go of the temptation, that ubiquitous, nagging temptation to be in charge, to be in control. And in saying that, there's no shortcuts. We will always be haunted by the desire to control. It will never leave us. The aim is to make sure that the conviction of God's revelation goes deeper and deeper into our hearts. I am with you. I'm here to love you into freedom. The more that takes hold, the more I taste God, the more I will be able to live with the nagging temptation for control without it completely dominating me. Here's a little exercise that you can try to help promote this kind of thinking. Abandonment to divine providence. Discovering the grace in the present moment. slow down. Be a little bit more deliberate about the ordinary things of your day. A little bit more reflective. And when I talk about the ordinary things of the day, I'm talking about things such as cleaning your teeth, signing your name, walking down the footpath, waiting in a checkout queue, making a cup of coffee, turning on a light switch. These are potentially sacramental events. That is, if I am reflective, a little bit more present to these events, they will become moments in which I open up to the grace of the moment. Let me read to you from a French Jesuit author of the 17th and 18th century, Father Jean-Pierre de Caussade, in a marvelous book which I recommend, Abandonment to Divine Providence it is called. But he represents a remarkable tradition in our Catholic history. He says, God speaks to every individual through what happens to them moment by moment. The events of each moment are stamped with the will of God. We find all that is necessary in the present moment. If we have abandoned ourselves to God, that is the key. If we have abandoned ourselves to God, there is only one rule for us, the duty of the present moment. Try it today. You have to be rather deliberate about it, especially if you are a frenetic type and very busy and overwhelmed by your busyness. Pick ordinary, mundane things that will come up in the day and just be present to those as if you were an observer, a friendly accompanier, so that you're open to the moment. You're in the moment. You will find the more you do this that a lot of stuff falls away, fades away. In the moment, if you're fully present, you are not hassling with memories. You are not anxious about future possibilities that may or may not come about. There's a very healthy forgetfulness about being in the moment. And again, I stress, this is not something that is accomplished willfully. It's about graced emergence. The more I practice it, the more I will be able to live with the control mechanism that gets out of control, the more it's let go. The grace of the present moment is a place of encounter. The present moment is every moment in which God's promise is being fulfilled. I am with you. Will you let me love you into freedom?